What is going on, y'all? It's Mike and Rico. We're going to do another recap, special feature here. We've got some technical difficulties worked out now. We're going to go back and we're going to relive the Noles victory down in Clemson, Death Valley Memorial Stadium. We finally get it done, 31-24 in overtime. Just an amazing win. Man, it just feels like such a weight lifted off. We're actually off this week, but we want to do a little review and kind of see how we got to 4-0 and how we are standing at the top of the ACC. Mike, any quick recap of this ball game that we're about to review?
A lot of good changes. I think you'll see that throughout the game of adjustments, but just a grinded out game, and you'll see the stuff that we pinpoint, kind of the shift in kind of the game of where you started seeing the shift and big moments where FSU kept grinding and kept themselves in the game when they kept going back and forth, scoring and kept matching Clemson. So I think you'll kind of sense kind of how this game fell apart for Clemson and then also delivered for FSU.
All right, so we're going to start here with some of the top highlights. We'll go ahead and get this spliced in here. So game kicks off, it's early window game. Clemson had some momentum early. Here's a 3rd and 8 in the first quarter. So as we look here, cut the sound on here. This is a ball right here. This is a ball right here that you would just love to see us get out. On the sideline, if we take it back here, 3rd and 8, got to get off the field. The right place. Cypress is there. We just got to get the ball out, Mike. Just got to get the ball out.
Well, and you also have to have a quicker instincts to the side. You know, when you're throwing to that side, make that throw be higher, make that throw be longer, where maybe it's tougher for a receiver to catch. He's not getting out of the break quick enough on that play, and you see a lot of that in the first half, where the reaction of the DB is a little bit a half a second slow. We saw a difference in the second half. They're on them, and we'll kind of show that to you guys. But that first half, the DB's got to react quicker.
Yep, so they get a first down there. So now Clemson's got a little momentum going. 2nd and 25, got them really behind the sticks there. Let's see if we get a good contain here. Way too much yards on a 2nd and 25. I mean, he's still going. That's 15, sets up a 3rd manageable. This is kind of the thing that's been troubling with Florida State is these long down and distance, particularly on 3rd down, is killing us. Here's a 3rd and 7. I believe this is still either the first or second drive. Got pressure, comes late. You know, getting beat over the top on the sideline. How much of this do you think is a result of missing Akeem Dent?
I think it's massive because Akeem's not. I mean, he will react quicker. I think a lot of what we're seeing in this drive in the first half is DB reaction to containing your edge or where you're supposed to be. The DB's late, and it's also they're playing. If you look at it, they're playing off man, slower, farther back. So yeah, you're blitzing dudes. You saw it from the edge. Rico could even rewind it for you guys. That you could see the pressure from the outside the edge, but the problem is your DB's reacting slow because he's too far off to start the play. So I think if they get that, and with Keem, you don't have to worry about it as much. So he takes away some of those mistakes, but that's kind of what led to kind of what we were seeing in the first half.
Yep. So we end up holding to a field goal here. These are going to be the first points of the game. Let's see, goes in and bangs it through. Now they had a kicking situation where this guy was off the team, came back, ended up being his story later. But Clemson gets on the board first. Now we're on offense. See what we can do here. Get housed and thrown to the ground.
And that's on Jordan, because Jordan's got to react knowing they're bringing blitz pressure. It's a delayed blitz, but that play, if he just rolls out and keeps running, he gets like 9 yards.
Now here we're gonna stop it here and just kind of go back to this play. Akeem Dent missed this game. And if we rewind this and we look at this play here, just middle field, it's just wide open. We really missed the quarterback here. We were talking about the sack on the previous possession, but you know.
Before you start that play, look at the guy on the far right. Like he's zoning, but he's not aggressively hitting that middle. So that's the middle's wide open because he's just sitting in that grass covering nobody.
Well, we have 4 defenders. If we look here, we have 4 defenders inside the right hash. If you're Clemson, if you're Eye of the Tiger looking at it, 5 defenders on the inside of the hash. I don't understand the concept there. You've just got nothing in the middle of the field, and if we press play here, you see it develop. I mean, this is an easy read for Klubnik. Bang. There's no way left side hash can get over there to make that play.
Yep.
And now the Tigers are in business, already up 3-0, and now they're all the way down and our goal to go here. It felt like they had a million opportunities, and they finally got a Bush push in here. 10-0. You know, 10-0 now. Noles are really against the odds. Exact opposite of the start we talked about. We wanted to get up early.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted to get some confidence and kind of coast. And next thing you know, I mean, you put your cup of coffee down because it's an early kick. And, you know, damn it, it's 10-0.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, as we said, we're pointing out the stuff we've seen on the soft coverages or the DB's not reacting fast enough, but you'll see a massive difference if we start showing some of these things in the second half. That was a phenomenal job by Fuller in how they adjusted. But we're going to show you that, guys, coming up later. But now it's time for FSU to respond. This is kind of what I talked about, where you'll see the grind from FSU. It's coming up right here.
Yeah, a lot of emotion at this point in the game. Clemson is really fighting for the season here. Already have a loss in ACC play where they got housed, and this is kind of the statement game. They really, really needed this game. Florida State needed it for a different reason because we're trying to prove that we're nationally prominent, that we're back in the mix here. Clemson's really fighting for pride because for 7 years they've been the pride and joy of the conference. There, Jordan drops back here, let a ball. That's a great catch right there. That's a catch that's going to have Benson making an NFL roster coming out of the backfield. Everybody knows these offenses now, they want 3 down backs and guys who can do just that. So Benson has been better catching the ball this year.
Yeah, great back shoulder, great ball location by great run that you kind of look. This is kind of the Trey we expect and we see. When Trey sees the hole, he goes. There's not as much waiting, but that's just when Trey sees the hole, he goes. And then on this play, this is the touchdown where, well, it was a great job by Keon. Released inside because he saw his quarterback was in trouble. Jordan patiently waits, sits in the pocket, settles in there, and lets his offensive line. Look at that! Look at that blocking. Just great blocking.
I love that. If I could slow that down and take that back. I mean, this is a great design. Watch this stutter step. Boom. Wait for the safety to come up there, right past him, wide open in the middle. This is where Mike Norvell is not really getting, and I know Atkins is behind the scenes with this a lot too, but Coach Norvell has a lot of creative play calls where you're seeing a lot of wide open touchdowns. You go back through the Rolodex touchdowns for the Noles through 4 games. Man, it's a lot of big plays. It's a lot of wide open touchdowns, and they're getting schemed up. This was great. I hate the fact that it took almost an entire half to get this going, but once we got it going, we started moving the ball pretty well.
Yeah, they woke up. It wasn't noon anymore. They were like, okay, we're playing a game at noon, and they started settling in and were a lot more aggressive with the ball.
Well, they didn't settle in on defense. We're still slow with all this pressure, still getting beat down the sideline. I mean, we just looked like completely mismatched there. Look at that. We got number 9 whooping at Noles there. I didn't see that live. That's a little offensive there.
Yeah, that play.
Good. Oh, you got an old angle route. There you go. Nice angle route here. Let's run this back. This should not happen whatsoever.
See, here's how you can solve that. We got it right here. Freeze. We know you're going to pick a running back. You have the safety to come up, and when he throws that, you can jump the route for a pick. But there's no set. Good. Give Klubnik credit. He read it. He saw the safety dropped, and so he went to the one-on-one. And once he got the one-on-one, he knows one-on-one Shipley's going to win that battle. So that's kind of the good job by the offense coordinator for Clemson to really kind of set that up. But like I said, DB reaction. We'll talk about that in the second half. But that's kind of what we saw in that play. They didn't get help in the middle, and they exploited it.
Now, a couple things I just don't like schematically. It looks like our edge defender here is going to be Cypress down there on the right side. Now, I'm saying right side as if you're Clemson.
Right.
I don't like lining up on the outside there. I would have rather lined up on the inside because obviously we have some ass to the middle of the field here, but we've got to account for Shipley. Shipley's their best player. We're down here in tight zone. I would love to see these guys staggered a little bit better. You had a slight stagger, but you've got that far field side corners on the same line with both your linebackers. Both safeties are on the same line. and they're about 2 yards too deep, in my opinion. We've got nothing. There's no way they can get beat deep with their alignment right there. I'd like
Right.
to see them walk up right about where the ref is, and that would have
I agree.
squeezed all this down. And now,
Yeah.
if you watch Shipley come off this angle route, if you take these safeties and you walk them up 2 yards, look exactly where they would be to make this play.
Or just
We're
one of them.
guarding grass back there. You know, no safety in the middle of the field because we're guarding grass. And we get burned. Best player on the field there hits us.
Yep.
And we just came back to answer 10-7. Now here we go. It's 17,
Yeah.
7 again.
It's the slight adjustment they made in the second half, because you see that safety's guarding he's guarding the end zone, which if he guards that middle, bam, he's there. Now here's where we see FSU rallying, really start kicking it in. Great block by Johnny downfield. Keon settling in the route, not just keep drifting like we see a lot of receivers do. He settled into the route, gave his quarterback a target to throw to.
Here we go. Look at this effort right here by Jordan. Now, mind you, we got 25 seconds left in the half. We don't want to settle for a field goal. Championship effort. Jordan gets in there. At this point here, we're kind of relaxed. Felt like, okay, we're fine.
Yeah.
Get the ball to start the half. We're going to be all right. That's a movement on the tackle there. Surprised they didn't call that.
That's bad pursuit by their edge guy. He went too far inside, so Jordan had the outside where you just had to overpower the guy, the DB.
Great pursuit by Patrick Payton here. Now, if we go back and look at this again, that ball should be coming out. I would love to see that ball come out here. Look at this pursuit. Get that ball out, because you see number 6 would have been a stupid score.
Yeah, the only difference I would have done with – only thing I would have done different with Patrick on that play is when he hit him, rip.
Get that thing out.
Yeah, rip it.
I mean, we got 2 defenders coming from that left side of the field. That's a stupid score there. We get it right in the second half, as you'll see. First possession coming out. Get a big deep ball right here to Johnny. Johnny only had 1 drop this game. He did not drop that one. That was a big play. Yep. And then Fitz magic. We ended up settling for a field goal, which was not ideal. Guy jumped over our center there. Should have been a penalty. But we drill it 48 yards. Now we're back. We got a tie ball game. Feel like we're in good shape. Get a stop here. Actually get the ball back and do diddly Scott with it.
Will Shipley surges forward for the conversion.
It's Clemson's second possession of the half here. We got to stop to begin and got to get him down right there.
Yeah, 54 has got to pull him down.
Look at Fiske. Fiske was motoring.
Yeah, Turner has to put 2 hands on that jersey and just dive for it and get him to the ground. And then here, half a second late on the pass rush, you get that may be a scoop and score.
Yeah, we come back to it. Look where that blitz came from right here. Okay, this actually came from a little less shallow than Deloach's came from later. Sells it nicely. Ball's being snapped. He's still not going. I think if we get one more step, we time that a little bit better, we get there. You know, again, alignment. I think that's one thing that's been hurting us with defense. Coach Fuller is very, very smart, runs an intricate defense. I think guys are messing up the alignments and the assignments just a tad bit, because if he has one more step, if he's, say, where's this at 15? Let's say that blitzing defender is at the 12-yard line here, as opposed to, well, actually take it the 13 or 14-yard line, as opposed to being back where he's at. This blitz gets home.
He goes out on the right flat.
Just one step. One step.
Because he doesn't have time to let the route run if you get one more step. You get one more step. You can see Klubnik pat it twice, like double clutch it. And it led to the next play, the touchdown, where they did a good job sealing the block to the left side. Great blocking. Clemson answered. Now FSU has to answer back.
Yeah, it was a little disappointment there. We got a body on him, but we only got a little piece of the burger. Didn't get to square him up, so Lundy ended up taking a ride into the end zone there.
Yep.
So now we're down 24-17, and it's looking a little hairy, especially here when Maffa breaks loose. Safety's out of position again. Thank God for suit for 20. 38 ends up cleaning them up. But here's where the game and the season absolutely changes. Look at the distance where Deloach comes from here. Boom!
Yep.
Now, see that ball, Fiske. Nice little tap up. That was on purpose. For those wondering, that was on purpose.
Yeah, it was.
Not sure if it's legal, but we'll take it.
It's legal.
We got a convoy of Noles.
only illegal if you get the possession and you start pitching it.
Look at the distance that Deloach is coming from.
Yeah, he's what's happening here, and watch the ball location of where he hit him. Like that's the best part.
Here's a blitz.
This is where you see
Boom.
targeting. This is where you see targeting happen, where a guy goes through the helmet. He went to the side, hit him to jar the ball loose, and then Kalen picks it up. Probably, I mean, Rico said this to me after the game. He's like, that's one of the best defensive plays I've seen out of a Seminole in a really long time because of
Yeah.
not only just the effort, but the location of the play of what you're doing. The location, understanding, Fiske understanding, hey, Kalen's faster than me. Let me tap it over to him, and then Kalen finishing it off right there
I
on
mean,
the arm.
he came from a cow pasture somewhere in South Carolina on that blitz. I mean, holy moly! And look at the hustle. We got 6 Noles down there. That ties the ball game up. Shipley here still carving us up, running our safety over here. It's every time we thought we had the momentum in this game, Clemson was just game for it. They came back and they stole it back from us.
Right.
Starting today.
It's a nice ball. That's a beautiful ball right there by Jordan.
Good job by Trey getting upfield. Get one more block, you might get 6 if you get a. If he can keep himself in bounds.
Yeah, 3rd and 19. It was looking dark for the offense here. Looking dark for the offense here. Jordan just thought he had more time than he did.
Reaction was a little slow to take off running. That's what we kind of talk about, but they're being careful how they use him. Phenomenal catch by Johnny on that one. That's a great wheel route down the end.
FSU 3 for 11 on 3rd down.
3rd and 9. This one's probably going to hurt. I think this is the drop.
Travis after the pump.
Just
on target.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's the first down there. I think we
he
have a
caught
drop
that
coming
one.
up.
That he didn't see.
And then Clemson, I don't know what Clemson was doing here. Like, you have no timeouts left. The clock's going to keep running. And so and then watch what they do after the play, Rico. They don't even know to line up. They didn't even show it. Like, Clemson was walking off the field. Like, they thought it was zeros.
We wasted no time. He said he's going to cover me. He got to double me. Keon steps up. First play overtime. Goes up top his head for the touchdown here. And now it's coming down to the defense.
And watch how he shields himself from the DB, where the DB doesn't have a chance to go over. Right here, watch it. Shields him. You can't get the ball 10. Like, the only way person is getting is Keon.
4th and 2. Finally, we're going to go back and look at it. 4th and 2 here. Let's look at where Fentrell lines up and plays this. If we freeze it, look at how he's taking away the inside. I love that. That's a shift that we made. We're doing it times 2. We're square here on the slot, but on the far boundary corner, we're taking away the inside. So much space there. There's no reason with no safety help. You have to do this. We brought a blitz. We went cover 0, took away the inside. I love it. We're taking away the inside all the way across the board.
Yeah,
down here at the bottom.
And then watch the guy far up left, the defensive tackle. He sees the eyes of Cabe going one way. So he knows Cabe's got locked into this guy, one of these guys. So they get their hands up, deflected, get him, game over. FSU win in Death Valley. That's how you do it.
Tell you what, it was not pretty. It was not exactly the way we wanted it, but we'll take it. We got it done. That's kind of the highlights. That's how we're going to bring the content to you now. We've got some kinks worked out. We want to actually bring you what happened so we can talk it, we can see it, we can break it down. End result is the Noles are 4-0 in the driver's seat in the ACC. Huge win. You would like to see us go out there and dominate that game, but that's just not real life. We got to operate in real life. Clemson is a hell of a football team. Dabo's a hell of a coach, and they still have probably the best roster top to bottom talent-wise in the ACC, with us being close second, maybe even now. So it was never going to be a go down there and kick their ass. It was going to be a war, and Dabo had those kids ready. We outlasted them, took them to the late rounds, and when we got to the late rounds, we delivered the knockout blow, and we got it done. Shout out to Coach Fuller. Man, it was tough watching that defense for the majority of the game. I will say that blitz dial up with Deloach, he dialed up a couple blitzes that were just sublime. I think one kid came from a little too much depth, but where Deloach came from on that blitz, I mean, that's one of the most, I texted him and told him that's one of the most badass play calls and executions and plays I've seen on defense in a really long time. And it came at an absolute time when we were reeling, giving up chunk plays, and we needed it. Not only we need a big play, Mike, to get the ball back, we really needed defense to score, and they did.
Yeah, not only that, you look at the adjustment from the offense. So it was down 10-0. Nothing seemed to work. They started releasing the hounds, and they opened it up. They saw some creases that they could take advantage of, jumped on them, answered both times. I think that's just important as Deloach play is when it was 10-0, you got to 10-7, and then when they scored, they came back, they scored again 17-7, and bam, you answer right again before the half 17-14. I think that was the big pivotal part of the game. And then they just kept it grinding, got it close, and then they need a big play, and Deloach delivered an incredible play. Great call, great scheme there to set that up and just really change the game.
Yep, and then going back to that 4th and 2 play, it's basic stuff, but you got to execute it, and just taking away that inside leverage. What you pointed out with the defensive tackles being able to read the eyes of the quarterback, shift over there to the left side, get their hands up, deflect that ball. I don't know what would have happened if the ball would have been on time. I thought Ventrell had really good coverage. He might have got a PBU anyway.
Yeah.
But good execution. 4th and 2. We won't talk. They didn't show the third down play Dabo called with the quick screen pass. He caught a lot of heat for that.
And the thing is with that call, it wasn't called it was called it's one of those quarterback decision calls, and the quarterback changed it the last second where he was supposed to run it, and he didn't run it, and he threw it to the edge. And credit to FSU, they stayed disciplined. They stayed at home because I think he thought he was going to catch FSU sleeping. Credit to the DBs over there. They bracketed it, knocked it down, lost the yard, and that really set up the game winner to finish it off. But just shows you, we saw the quarterback play calls, Norvell does that sometimes. We saw that with Jordan last year at NC State, where they give him an opportunity to what you see to call, and they give him choices, and Klubnik definitely chose wrong, and that's what Dabo was pointing to. He say 1 yard. He's like 1 yard. We only need 1 yard. Just run the ball, and so it just shows you the fine line of being winning and losing, guys.
Well, that's it. Well, Noles get the victory, 31-24. It took overtime to do it, but we finally busted through the glass ceiling, kicked down the gates of Memorial Stadium. 4-0. We're in a bye week this week, getting healthy. It's a great time to be a Noles. See if we can keep it rolling. We got Virginia Tech next week. I'm hoping to be there. Hopefully to see you there.
Yep.
See Brooks.
Yep.
See my man Gabe.
Yep.
And keep it rolling. All right. You guys, God bless, and go Noles.